Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thought Leadership Thursday. On Thought Leadership Thursdays, I talk to leaders that will make you go, and possibly hack your growth, So today we will explore thought leadership that has changed the oat milling industry. Here's Steve Motimer, the Director of Operations for oat fiber at Grain Millers. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. It's great to see you and to meet you over Zoom in person, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Steve, how long have you been with this division at Grain Millers?
I started in the oat fiber division about 2.5 years ago. Prior to that, I started my career with Grain Millers in the mill. So I used to work the old 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift.
So you were a miller?
I was a miller, and that's one thing that we take a lot of pride in at Grain Millers. So I started in 2010, and I worked my way up through our flake line, and then I worked in safety for about 4 years. I was the director of corporate safety, and then I did some marketing work and started operations 2.5 years ago, and I'm really having a great time in this part of the company.
So a lot of people don't know that Grain Millers is a family-run business, right? So you are in a family-owned business. How is that challenging for you? Is that challenging at all? I mean, in terms of vision and in terms of relationships and working relationships?
I would say I can't really think of any disadvantages of being in a family business, to be honest with you. One thing that is really awesome about Grain Millers is, although we are one of the world's largest oatmeal manufacturers, if I want to get in touch with the president, I can call the president on his cell phone. And I would say most of our millers at the ground level feel the same way, that they have access to executive level decision makers that is very hard to find at other organizations. And it also allows us to be a little bit more nimble than our competitors in some cases, where we can see an opportunity and appropriate the proper assets or the capital and make decisions very quickly to get installations done and meet the needs of our customers at a fast pace.
Nimbleness is what I am very fascinated with your company, because I've seen over the years the innovation side of things and how quickly you guys turn around and make really innovative products. Can you share what's your latest innovation on that?
This oat milk space is growing astronomically. And
oat milk, yeah.
Yes, and we really pride ourselves in meeting the needs of the demands of our customers in this B2B space. And so one thing that we're very good at is either using current assets to make new products by adjusting settings or making changes to the machinery or adjusting flows, or identifying new technologies that often may not be used for oat manufacturing or oat fiber manufacturing, and going and doing the trials and figuring out how we can manipulate this.
In this case, right?
How we can manipulate this magical grain and get all of the value out of it possible. So one new market that we have entered recently is oat milk, and we can provide raw material in various forms. So if oat milk manufacturers need raw groat material, we can of course provide that. But if they need specialty flours and maybe they don't have the machinery to do the grinding and the particle separation, we can provide oat milk ready specialty flours with various different specifications that wherever they are in the oat milk process, we can provide them a specific product that won't give them viscosity issues, but still give them all the great health benefits of the whole grain oat.
That's amazing. And this product has been in the market for how long?
I would say oat milk really ticked up about 2 years ago, that we started to see that trend. Almond milk became so popular. And the one thing that oat milk has above all of the other plant-based milks is that health benefit and that naturally sweet flavor. So when you make an oat milk, you don't have to add all of these sweeteners in it, which change your caloric values and change your label. When you make an oat milk, it will naturally taste good and be good for you. So that's a huge advantage.
That's so awesome. So who started this company?
Grain Millers was started by a Norwegian gentleman named Mr. Kongsnor and a Swedish gentleman named Mr. Obdon. And Mr. Obdon was the chairman of our board just up until a little while ago, and his family is still intimately involved in the business, and Mr. Kongsnor's family is still intimately involved in the business. And both families came from deep lineages of milling. So You had wheat millers in Norway and cereal manufacturers in Sweden. They came together and saw an opportunity to turn an old horse feed mill in Eugene, Oregon into a human consumption oat mill in Eugene, Oregon. And that was during the oat bran craze of the early 80s. And then there was a very strategic alliance with a grain trading company out of Hutchinson, Minnesota that was known as AgriTrading. And after that alliance happened, AgriTrading became the procurement division of grain millers. And it was extremely important because our founders understood that the ability to work directly with the farmer, especially on the organic side of oat procurement, would be one thing that would separate us from our competitors. And one of the strengths of our business from the very beginning to today is those direct farmer relationships on the organic side. We help them choose seeds. We have a crop research division. We have a sustainability group. So we are heading towards a strategy where hopefully we can buy 100% of our organic oats directly from the farmer. And our founders understood that at the very beginning.
You know, that founder mentality is just very inspiring to me, because apparently the same thinking has passed down to the generations right now. What would you have? I mean, like back then, they probably wouldn't have thought oat milk would be a thing, right? What in your opinion keeps that thought, you know, that innovative, the entrepreneurial thought? What keeps that burning in your company?
That's a great question. I think, first of all, we really view ourselves as milling scientists, and we try to drive that down into our employees on the floor. So we have a lot of people at grain millers that started 20 years ago and that are still here today, making what many would consider to be the best tasting, highest quality oatmeal available on the market. And we try to educate our millers so that they understand that when they're running these machines and making these adjustments, it's not just a job or even a career, that you're part of this ingredient supply chain, providing healthy ingredients to people. And that the better you understand the system and these machines, the better you are at your job. It has a direct impact on the customer that's eating it in their home, right?
Right.
So that's the first part, is that we really try to drive a culture that we are millers first, and we take great pride in deeply understanding all of our milling processes. And then the second piece of it is that we are very dedicated to responding or being first in line as the market trends happen, that we can hit those trends very quickly. Yeah. And obviously that's good business, right?
Yes.
More importantly for us culturally, it's about meeting the demands of our customers before they even know those demands exist. So as we see a trend start, instead of waiting for the customer to come to us and say, hey, I need this, we can go to them first and say, hey, we have this because we see this trend happening, and here's the ingredients we have for your process that will allow you to meet that trend. That true B2B manufacturing position where we want to be the first one there. And sometimes, if we can, provide the customer with solutions they may not even know they need yet.
Yeah, and you know, it takes a team of dedicated professionals that care about the legacy of the company to really do that. And that's what I've just, you know, noticed in a lot of the companies I've interviewed, in terms of family companies. It's the legacy thinkers, the founders, you know, instill a kind of thinking that is, you know, let's not think of it as a big mountain. Let's just chop it up and run with it, right? And I see that a lot with what you're saying, as in, you know, you have a lot of people in place to run with different ideas. At the end of the day, you know, what sticks is, you know, oatmeal. You know, it comes from that quick thinking of innovation. And I do see it in a lot of the people that I meet from your company. So other than oat milk, what other new things have you guys produced that have really helped the company pivot from being just, you know, producing rolled oats?
Oat fiber, this oat fiber division that I'm a part of, has proprietary processes that are very unique. And our milling expertise, and, you know, Keith Horton is one of the key cogs in our company. Our executive vice president, Rick Schwein, has a ton of experience as well. And then the people that are at our mills at the managerial level that have been making oatmeal for all of these years, you know, 20 or 30 years in some cases. This oat fiber process is allowing us to do some very unique things with particle size and offering oat fibers to both the food and even pet food marketplace, which is something that we're interested in exploring, but offering fibers that have both nutritional benefits. So they actually, obviously, you know, going into a bread or into a bar, you can put more fiber content on the label. But it's this functional benefit where we can
I was going to ask, well, what is there's so many fibers on the market. I mean, how do you guys position yourself differently with oat fiber?
So the biggest thing that we did early on is oat fiber existed in the marketplace, but chemicals were used to break down the fiber to get it to a consumable particle size where you didn't feel it in your mouth. Mm-hmm. And we were the first ones to do it only using mechanical energy. And this allowed us to create and sell the world's first organic oat fiber because we didn't need any chemicals to make it. And that is one of our commitments as a company, is we just don't add anything to the product. We sell whole grain ingredients. So positioning this as a natural fiber where if you put 100 pounds of raw material in, you get 100 pounds of fiber out. We don't add anything and we don't take anything away. And that's one thing that makes it very unique. And then from the functionality side, doing the research to understand exactly what our customers' needs are and provide specific fibers that reduce breakage, or that help hold a bar together, or that increase crispiness in a granola, or that allow a flatbread to stay on the shelf for 2 or 3 more days in some cases. Providing these unique combinations of ingredients, mostly derived from the oat, that not only provide great nutrition, but actually change the way a product behaves to benefit the customer and the end user.
Yeah, that is so important because people don't understand that your product needs to suit your, customer. I've seen a lot of products on the market because, I do a lot of reviews, and sometimes I see products that are just created for the sake of being a byproduct, right? And it's not catered to the customer. So I've actually used your product in numerous bakery goods. And what fascinates me was the texture, the inability to feel like it's a high fiber, item. So can you go a little bit more into that and share your thoughts on how are you able to create fiber that doesn't taste like fiber?
Yep. Well, I'll tell you one thing that makes Grain Millers unique as well is our sales team are really food scientists masquerading as salespeople, right? And
okay, got it. That's a secret weapon.
Yeah, so it's a great strategy. One of our goals is to be able to speak on a level with developers at our customers' locations, where our salespeople can speak at a developer level and understand the food science, right? So then they understand the customer's needs, and then. Although I can't share very much about our process, I will just tell you that the machinery that we use, we understand it intimately. And we work with the machinery suppliers to learn how we can change it and adjust it and alter it so that it can do these unique things to make sure that the mouthfeel for these various products is not affected in a negative way. And so I can't share too much about it. All I can tell you is that we have the ability to produce fibers with very small particle sizes, extremely consistent on moisture content, and some specific attributes that make it so the fiber in various products behaves just the way the customer wants it to.
That's really awesome. So what I'm seeing in your company is this whole line of thought leaders, right? I mean, everyone from the top to the processing engineers to the technical people to the sales. There is a straight line, and everybody is so specialized in what they do, so much so that your customers' needs are always taken care of. And I think that's a story to share with a lot of companies out there that that it's not really practiced in a lot of companies, to be able to put those special people in that line, to make the dots all connect, to be able to be agile, to be able to provide innovation. So that's such a great story. And thank you for sharing that today. Yes. Before we leave, I've always asked my guests, could you please share some leadership skills? Things that you do with your team that helps them be innovative and agile as what you practice in Grain Millers.
No problem. The first thing that comes to mind for me is one of my favorite sayings is, some people want to be right and some people want to get it right. And I think it's important as a leader to be a person that it doesn't matter if you are right. You just want to make sure that in the end, the organization that you work for and the team that you're on gets it right. And what that means is it doesn't matter who gets the credit for the success. It It doesn't matter who is right. It just matters that in the end, we all are right. So we don't need to be right. We just need to get it right. So that would be the first thing. And really, which is, you just can't have ego, right? You got to go in and contribute as much as you can and gather information from other people within your organization and view their information and their opinion as really valuable and important. And then the second piece that I would say for me personally and what I see at Grain Millers is you can never forget the unsung heroes of your organization. So in the end, the engine that drives Grain Millers is the people on the floor wearing the all-white uniforms, the bump caps, adjusting the machinery, doing the samples, working in the labs, the customer service people. Absolutely. You have to remember the engine that drives your business and the unsung heroes. And you have to seek out ways and sometimes appropriate capital to make sure that they feel appreciated and valued, because you cannot build a business and run a manufacturing company without the unsung heroes that are doing the work every day. So I would say great ideas often come from the bottom and can get to the top very quickly if allowed to do so. And that's where the best ideas are. The best ideas are on the floor, but you have to give those people a voice and constantly share with them how much you appreciate their efforts.
That's really great, Steve. And I so look forward to your company being a legacy business for the next 50 years.
I hope that happens, but it's only going to happen.
under that kind of leadership, for sure. You know,
but
I love it.
It'll only happen if we continue to meet the needs of our customers and build our business around what they need, and if we continue to appreciate our unsung heroes. So hopefully I meet you at a trade show one of these days. I'll try to get out there once all this thing is over and hopefully shake your hand or give you an elbow bump.
Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Bye.